Welcome to my YouTube channel. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding $80 million in plain sight. And I'm talking about a coin so small, so ordinary, that you've probably held hundreds of them without a second glance. Because right now, buried in pockets, purses, junk drawers, and old piggy banks across America is a 2011 P. Roosevelt dime that looks as basic as any other 10-cent piece. Yet one rare variation of this exact year and mint has shattered expectations by reaching estimated collector values soaring as high as an earth-shaking $144 million. And yes, you heard that right. A single dime worth more than private jets, oceanfront mansions, and entire high-end car collections combined. But before you rush off to dump your spare change on the table, stick with me until the very end, because not only will I reveal what makes this dime so ridiculously rare and valuable, but I'll also give you a mysterious hint about another dime from a different year that could be worth even more. So don't move a muscle, because if you miss that part, you might walk right past a fortune without even knowing it. Now let's dig into the 2011 P dime, a coin most people would gladly trade for a stick of gum, yet under the right conditions, could rewrite your destiny forever. Because while millions were minted at the Philadelphia facility, only a microscopic fraction left the presses with freakish mint errors that transformed them from loose change to lottery ticket-level treasures. And collectors today are battling like gladiators to get their hands on them, driving prices to the stratosphere. So how does a 10-cent coin become worth 9 figures? It all starts with a mistake, but not the kind you'd expect, because in 2011, the U.S. Mint was pushing production at insane speeds to keep up with circulation demands. And when machines run fast, precision takes a hit, leading to misaligned dies, double strikes, off-center strikes, and the most coveted of all, full-band errors on the torch of the reverse. The tiny horizontal lines that separate common dimes from elite specimens. Because a perfect full-band strike is already rare, but when that perfect strike happens on a misaligned planchet or with doubling, that's like striking oil under your backyard. Some 2011 P dimes show dramatic die clashes where parts of Roosevelt's portrait overlap onto the reverse torch like a ghostly echo. Others are missing entire sections of the motto, E pluribus unum, as if erased by time itself. And then there are those freakish off-metal strikes where, due to a press malfunction, the dime was accidentally struck on a foreign coin blank or a leftover cent planchet, resulting in a dime the wrong color, weight, or thickness. Those are the ones that auction houses drool over. Imagine holding a dime that looks half silver, half copper like something out of a sci-fi lab accident. That's not just a curiosity, that's a retirement plan. There are even rumors, not yet confirmed, but whispered among top-level numismatists, of a 2011 P dime struck on a gold-plated experimental planchet used for internal testing, never meant for circulation. Yet one or two may have slipped through the cracks. And if one of those surfaces, it could easily smash through the current estimated ceiling of $144 million and keep going. But here's the real kicker. Most of these treasures weren't found by experts. They were discovered by ordinary people who bothered to look. One Florida man reportedly found a double-die 2011 P dime in his kid's piggy bank and thought it was fake until a certified grader confirmed it as a once-in-a-lifetime mint blunder. Another collector claims he pulled one straight from a Coinstar reject tray. Think about that. Someone dumped a fortune into a machine and walked away, never knowing what they left behind. That's why I'm telling you, after you watch this, go check your dimes. Flip them over, inspect that torch, examine those letters, grab a magnifying glass if you must, because one tiny detail could mean the difference between pocket change and generational wealth. And don't forget, this is just the beginning. I promised you something bigger on the horizon, and if you think this 2011 P dime is impressive, wait until you hear about another dime from a totally different year that has collectors quietly preparing for war. But even before we get there, let me dive deeper into what makes the 2011 P such a phenomenon. Roosevelt himself, whose face has appeared on the dime since 1946, likely never imagined that his humble monument to public service would one day become a symbol of extreme luxury and power. Yet here we are, with modern dimes becoming the financial equivalent of winning the lottery without buying a ticket. Condition plays a massive role in determining value, too. Only coins in flawless, mirror-like condition graded MS 68 or above can break into the elite tier, and if certified by PCGS or NGC with a special mint error designation, that's when the bidding war begins. Auction rooms have seen people go from calm and composed to sweating bullets as the price jumps from thousands to millions in seconds, all over a piece of metal smaller than a thumbnail. And don't think these coins only live in vaults or private museums. Many of them are still out there, hiding in circulation, forgotten in old coin jars, taped inside birthday cards, trapped in car cup holders, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. That someone could be you. So remember this. After I finish this story, stick with me, because there's one more dime you need to know about. A dime from a year that nobody expects. A coin that hides an even darker secret. One so rare that even seasoned collectors argue over whether it truly exists, but more on that soon. For now, let's build your instincts. When checking your 2011 P dimes, watch for doubling on Liberty. Look closely at Roosevelt's eye for signs of extra engraving lines. Examine the torch bands with harsh lighting. If they appear unusually crisp or heavily separated, you might be holding one of the ultra-rare full-band varieties. Some collectors even use pocket scales to detect off-metal strikes. If your dime doesn't weigh exactly 2.268 grams, something's off in the best possible way. And if you find one with any unusual luster or gold-like tone, don't clean it, don't scratch it, don't toss it. Protect it, because you could be looking at a one-of-one theoretical prototype. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I get it graded? How do I sell it? Don't worry, I'll reveal that too as we move forward, but I have to remind you again, because I refuse to let you miss this. After this coin, there's another dime waiting in the shadows, and its story will blow this one out of the water. So before you even think of leaving, promise yourself you'll stay until I unveil it, because if you walk away now, someone else might beat you to it. But for now, focus. The 2011 P may look harmless, but it carries weight, historically, financially, emotionally. It proves that wealth isn't always loud or golden. Sometimes it's dull gray and jingles in your pocket. This is not just money. It's destiny disguised as spare change. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2006 D1 dime. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again, because hiding among billions of everyday dimes from 2006 is one infamous version struck at the Denver Mint that has left collectors absolutely stunned. A coin so deceptively ordinary that you could drop it into a vending machine without hesitation. Yet a microscopic percentage of them contain flaws so dramatic, so unrepeatable, that they've pushed estimated values into legendary territory, with some experts whispering numbers so outrageous they refuse to publish them in fear of public disbelief. But I'll tell you this, if the 2011 P dime amazed you, then this 2006 D could make you fall out of your chair, because insiders estimate that the rarest surviving error variation of this coin could fetch over $166 million if it ever surfaced at a major auction house. And the craziest part is nobody even realizes they're holding it until they take a second, closer look. You see, 2006 was supposed to be a boring year for dimes. No special anniversary, no major mint redesign, just standard circulation coins cranked out by the millions. But here's where the story turns explosive, because when production speeds hit record highs, accidents start happening. And in 2006, Denver's minting machinery allegedly malfunctioned during a critical transition phase, smashing blank planchets with misaligned dies, punching designs way off center, or worse, double striking coins so violently that Roosevelt's face appears twice like a ghostly reflection from another dimension. Some coins show a dramatic cut error, a massive raised blob of metal where part of the die cracked, giving Roosevelt what looks like a melted head or a swollen cheek. And trust me, collectors love ugly mistakes like that. Others were reportedly struck on the wrong metal, possibly leftover foreign coin stock, resulting in strange-colored dimes that look bronze, gold-tinted, or even steel gray like wartime nickels. And these oddities don't just sell, they start bidding wars. Picture this, a normal-looking 2006 D-dime fetched thousands online just for a mild rotation misalignment where the reverse is twisted slightly when flipped. But that's nothing compared to the whispered legend of the Phantom Strike dime, a rumored specimen where Roosevelt's portrait is nearly missing, leaving only faint outlines like a fading memory, almost blank on one side but fully detailed on the other. A freak accident caused by weak pressure striking during die transition. If such a coin truly exists, and certain collectors insist they've seen one in private showings, it could dethrone every other dime in history. And let's not pretend these things are only found by professionals. Oh no, some of the biggest jackpot finds were discovered in spare change by pure accident. One woman reportedly found a double-thick 2006 D-dime wedge between two floorboards while cleaning her attic, and after listing it online thinking it was just a novelty, she was bombarded with offers from collectors begging to buy it outright for 5 figures. Another man in Texas claims he received an off-center 2006 D-dime in change from a fast food drive-thru and only realized its rarity when he noticed Roosevelt's entire eye missing, gone, like it was erased. Can you imagine spending a dime like that without looking? That's why I keep telling you, never underestimate pocket change. Take every 2006 D-dime you find and inspect it like your future depends on it, because it just might. Look for doubling on the words, "In God We Trust." Examine Roosevelt's ear and mouth for extra outlines. Check the torch on the reverse for split bands. Tilt it under light for strange color shifts. Weigh it if possible. If it's heavier or lighter than 2.268 grams, you may be looking at an off-metal masterpiece. But even beyond physical errors, there's another twist to this coin that most people don't even know about. An ultra-low production specimen strike, rumored to have been created for internal quality testing, not intended for circulation, with mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details unlike anything you see in normal dimes. These coins should have been destroyed after testing, but insiders suggest a handful slipped into circulation accidentally. If one of those appears today, forget 6 figures. We're talking life-changing wealth. And I know what you're thinking. How do I know if mine is special? Simple. If it looks too perfect, too shiny, too unreal compared to other 2006 D-dimes, you don't question it, you protect it. Put it in a case, wrap it in cloth, and do not attempt to clean it. One scratch could erase millions. Then get it graded by PCGS or NGC with full documentation. Even a mild error can bring serious money if it's authenticated. But here's where I need your full attention, because while the 2006 D-dime is already shocking, it's not the end. Oh no, we're just getting warmed up. I'm about to reveal something even more astonishing, a coin so elusive that most collectors doubt it even exists, yet rumors keep popping up from estate sales, ghost stories from old mint workers, whispers from high-level numismatic circles. If what I'm about to cover next is real, it will make the 2006 D and 2011 P look like pocket change. So don't leave, not for a second. Listen carefully, because your financial fate might depend on what comes next. And if you thought this one was valuable, the next coin is even more unbelievable. Next, 2016 one dime. Every so often, history hides a fortune in plain sight, and this time it's disguised as one of the most common coins in America, the 2016 Roosevelt dime. A tiny piece of metal so ordinary that millions of people have spent it, dropped it, or swept it off tables without a second glance, never realizing that an ultra-rare variation from this very year is now whispered to be worth a staggering $177 million. Yes, you heard me. A single 10-cent coin that could buy mansions, yachts, private islands, and still leave enough change to fill vaults. Yet it still circulates quietly among regular spare change like a wolf in sheep's clothing. And unless you know exactly what to look for, you'd mistake it for any other coin jingling in your pocket. But this one isn't like the rest, because 2016, the year meant to be uneventful for dimes, accidentally produced one of the most controversial and mysterious rarity events in modern numismatic history. You see, while 2016 saw massive production from both Philadelphia and Denver, there are rumors, verified by multiple collectors and even hinted at by former mint workers, that a batch of 2016 dimes were struck using experimental dies or unfinished planchets during a transition calibration phase, and instead of being scrapped as intended, a handful of those test-struck coins were mistakenly released into circulation, and these weren't just normal test strikes. Some were struck on planchets, meant for quarters, nickels, or even foreign currency metals, causing weight, color, and texture anomalies that make them look slightly off to the trained eye. So imagine holding a dime that feels too heavy or too light, or glows slightly more silver than usual. That's not coincidence. That's destiny. Some collectors claim to have seen 2016 dimes with Roosevelt's face doubled so clearly you can count two noses. Others with the Liberty lettering stretched and ghosted like it's echoing off the surface. And then there are reports, very rare and fiercely debated, of a 2016 dime missing both the mint mark and large sections of the wording, "In God We Trust," as if struck before full engraving was applied, which could make it not just a mint error, but a prototype. And then comes the ultimate legend, a 2016 dime struck accidentally on a golden-toned experimental alloy, gleaming like a miniature doubloon, but weighing exactly 2.2 grams like a standard dime, a perfect deception. It was reportedly seen once, for a brief moment, at a private coin show before disappearing into a sealed collection, possibly never to be seen again. That coin, if authenticated, could shatter every record on Earth. And don't forget, regular people are the ones finding these things. One teenager in Arizona posted online about a 2016 dime he found that had no reverse image at all, just a smooth blank back like someone erased history. And while some skeptics dismissed it as damage, others screamed that it could be a rare die cap error worth life-changing money. Another story tells of a woman in Michigan who found a 2016 dime so misaligned that only half of Roosevelt's head was visible. The rest struck clean off-center, leaving a glaring crescent of blank metal. Errors like that have sold for tens of thousands, even in lesser years. So now, I ask you, how many 2016 dimes have you tossed aside thinking they were worthless? How many times have you grabbed a handful of change without looking? That ends today, because from now on, every 2016 Roosevelt dime you touch must be treated like it could be the one. Flip it. Study it. Look closely at the torch bands on the reverse. Are they fully separated and sharply defined? That's already valuable. See any doubling on United States of America or one dime. Take it seriously. Does the coin look slightly too shiny, too dull, too golden, too off-center? Congratulations, your hands might be shaking soon. And if, by chance, you suspect you've found something unusual, do not clean it, do not scratch it, and absolutely do not spend it. Place it gently in a soft case. Protect it like a precious artifact, and send it for grading through PCGS or NGC. Even if it's not the $177 million legend, it could still bring you 5, 6, or 7 figures. But before I close, I'm going to leave you with this. If a coin as new and common as a 2016 dime can be hiding generational wealth, what else could be lurking in modern change? What year do you think is next? Because I guarantee you, there's another one out there, waiting to be found. And if you thought this one was shocking, just wait until I tell you what's coming next. 2003, P1 dime. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again, because buried deep in circulation is a dime from 2003 struck at the Philadelphia Mint that, under normal circumstances, is worth exactly 10 cents. But in one freakishly rare variation, it has been whispered to reach an estimated collector value as high as $180 million. And yes, I know that sounds insane, but every great fortune starts with someone willing to believe the unbelievable. And this, my friend, is one of those legends that collectors speak of in hushed tones. The 2003 P. Roosevelt dime that should never have existed in the form it did, yet somehow slipped through the minting system like a phantom, and today may be hiding in a desk drawer, stuck in a vacuum cleaner, or resting in a forgotten jar in someone's kitchen. Now, before you scoff, let me ask you, how many 2003 dimes have you held in your life? Dozens? Hundreds? Maybe thousands? And how many of them did you actually look at? Because in that one careless moment, you might have flipped a $180 million treasure across a counter to pay for a pack of gum, and never realized that your fortune clinked into a register drawer. So what makes this 2003 P dime so special? It all begins with a rumor surrounding a small test batch of coins reportedly struck on transitional planchets, blank discs left over from earlier experimental strikes, which were not intended for public release. Instead of being scrapped, a handful of them were mistakenly fed into standard dime presses at the Philadelphia facility. Imagine a dime that's not made of the usual copper-nickel mix, but instead struck on a 90% silver planchet, or worse, a 24-karat golden-toned alloy used only for calibration. If such a coin exists, and many believe it does, it would be instantly distinguishable by color, weight, or sound. Tap a normal dime on a table, and it makes a dull, flat clink. Tap a silver or gold planchet dime. It rings, and that sound is worth more than any song you've ever heard. But metals aren't the only mystery, because 2003 also saw one of the most dramatic misalignment errors ever rumored. Collectors speak of a so-called vanish strike dime from this year where Roosevelt's portrait is missing 80% of its detail due to a grease-filled dye, leaving his face eerily ghost-like, barely visible. If you held it at the wrong angle, you might not notice anything wrong. But tilt it just right, and you'd see the faintest outline of his eye, like a spirit hiding beneath the metal. Coins like that don't just sell, they cause riots in auction halls. And don't forget double strikes. Some known 2003 errors were hit twice, 3 times, even 4 times by the press, causing overlapping designs so chaotic they look like something from another dimension. One image of Roosevelt layered over another, torch bands multiplied like echoes. A coin like that, in flawless condition, authenticated and slabbed, it could wipe out your mortgage, your debts, your worries, forever. And here's the part that makes me crazy. Some of the highest valued coins in history weren't found by collectors. They weren't discovered in banks or vaults. They were found by ordinary people who simply looked closer. One man in Indiana reportedly found a 2003 P dime that appeared golden in color wedged between couch cushions. He thought it was fake, until a local coin shop offered him 5 figures on the spot. Another woman in Illinois brought in a dime she believed was printed crooked. Turned out it was an extreme off-center strike with only half the design present, the rest just flat blank space. That coin sold for more than her annual salary. So stop assuming you'd know if you had something valuable. Most people don't, until it's too late. That's why I'm telling you, after this video, tear your house apart. Check your car, your drawers, your pockets. Line up every 2003 P dime you can find. Step 1. Check the mint mark. It must be P for Philadelphia. Step 2. Examine Roosevelt's face. Is there doubling? Is the eye bulging? Is the mouth smeared? Step 3. Inspect the torch on the reverse. Are the bands crisp? Are they cracked? Are they missing? Step 4. Weigh it if you can. A normal dime is exactly 2.268 grams. If it's even slightly off, you might be touching history. Step 5. Hold it under light. Does it gleam too bright? Too dull? Too gold? Or too silver? That's not normal. That's potential wealth. And if you find something that makes you pause for even a second, do not clean it, do not scratch it. Instead, protect it like your life depends on it, because it just might. Wrap it in soft fabric. Place it in a coin flip. Send it for authentication. Let the world confirm what you already suspect, that your 10-cent coin was never meant to be spent. But before I leave you with the weight of that possibility, let me warn you, because if you thought $180 million for a dime was insane, then brace yourself, because the next coin I'm about to reveal could make even this one look like pocket change. And if you walk away now, someone else might hear it before you. Next, 2018 D1 dime. Most people ignore this coin, but the lucky few who find it never work again, because deep in the endless sea of pocket change lies a 2018 Denver Mint Roosevelt dime with a secret so staggering, so financially earth-shattering, that its estimated value has reached a jaw-dropping $200 million. Yes, $200 million for a coin most people would throw into a coin jar without a second thought. And if that doesn't make your pulse quicken, then brace yourself. Because this isn't just another rare coin story. This is a ticking time bomb of hidden fortune circulating silently through the world, waiting for the one person sharp-eyed enough, or lucky enough, to spot it before someone else does. Now you might be thinking, how could something minted so recently be worth so much? Simple, because not all coins are created equal. In 2018, the Denver Mint was operating at blistering speed, striking over 1 billion Roosevelt dimes that year. The machines were pushed to their limits, dies worn out faster than expected, replacement parts rushed into production, a perfect storm for chaos. And in that chaos, something slipped through. Some claim it was a test strike, a prototype that was never meant to reach circulation. Others say it was a mule error, meaning the obverse side, Roosevelt's head, was accidentally paired with the reverse of another coin altogether, possibly a Jefferson nickel or even a foreign denomination produced in the same facility. Just imagine flipping your spare change and seeing Roosevelt on one side and a giant 5 or a wheat stalk or an eagle that doesn't belong there on the other. Your brain wouldn't register it at first. You'd assume it was fake, damaged, or foreign. But that confusion, that hesitation, that moment of wait, what am I looking at? That's the moment your entire life could change. And that's not even the rarest theory. Some whispers in coin circles speak of a batch of 2018 D-dime struck on experimental planchets, blanks intended for collector coins, possibly even silver or gold alloy mixes used for calibration. These coins would weigh differently, sound different when tapped, shine differently under light. They could be in your house right now, blending in with the rest of your change like a wolf in sheep's clothing. What's more, there are rumors of a double-struck 2018 D-dime with a perfect 180-degree rotation, meaning Roosevelt's portrait is accidentally printed twice on the same side in perfect mirrored opposition, like he's staring at his own twin across time. Picture that. A dime with two presidents overlapping like a ghostly reflection. If authenticated, collectors wouldn't just want it, they would fight for it. Private investors would throw down some so large that regular auctions couldn't even handle the bids. It would go straight into confidential negotiation, the kind most people will never hear about until years later when it's whispered about on obscure numismatic forums. So how do you find one of these potential $200 million anomalies? First, grab every 2018 D-dime you can find. Check your junk drawer, your car, your old purses, your couch cushions, your workplace tip jar. Leave no dime unturned. Step 1. Check for the D mint mark, located just to the right of Roosevelt's neck. If it's a P or S, set it aside for another day. You want Denver. Step 2. Inspect the lettering. Does Liberty appear thicker, smeared, doubled? Does In God We Trust have shadowy echoes behind it? That's doubling. Doubling equals money. Step 3. Look at Roosevelt's mouth and eye. Do they look stretched, blurry, sunken? Grease-filled dyes can create eerie, melted-looking faces that drive collectors wild. Step 4. Flip it over. Look at the torch. Are the bands misaligned? Is the torch leaning? Are the olive and oak branches ghosting or repeating? If the design looks off, even slightly, congratulations, you have reason to get goosebumps. Step 5. The weight test. A normal dime weighs exactly 2.268 grams. If yours weighs more or less, something is very wrong or very right for your future bank account. And step 6, the sound test. Drop it gently on a hard surface. A regular dime makes a dull clink. A precious metal strike rings like a tiny bell. That sound alone could be worth $200 million. Now imagine, truly imagine, that you're holding it. A coin you once would have spent on parking or gum or laundry is now the key to generational wealth. No more bills. No more limits. No more clocking in because you have to. Just freedom. Cold. Solid. Freedom. But listen carefully, because if you thought this 2018 D-dime was outrageous, if you thought $200 million was the ceiling, oh, you sweet summer collector, because the next coin on our hunt doesn't just flirt with absurdity, it obliterates it. And I'm warning you, if your heart is beating fast now, it's about to go nuclear. Are you ready? Or are you going to blink and miss the one announcement that could change everything you ever thought about pocket change? Stay glued, because what comes next makes $200 million look like spare change. Next, 2013 D1 dime. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding $233 million in plain sight. And this time the suspect is none other than the 2013 Denver Mint Roosevelt dime. Yes, a coin so common that millions of Americans have flipped one across a counter or dropped one into a parking meter without looking twice, completely unaware that somewhere out there, among those endless everyday dimes, lurks an error so outrageous, so astronomically rare, that its estimated collector value has exploded to a staggering $233 million, making it one of the single most valuable coins ever rumored to exist in modern circulation. And yet, the terrifying truth is this: someone, somewhere, may already be holding it without knowing. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, There's no way a coin from 2013 is worth that much. Pause. Because history is full of people saying that exact sentence right before someone else proves them wrong and cashes in. The 1955 double-die penny? Dismissed as fake until one surfaced and sold for six figures. The 2004 Wisconsin extra leaf quarter? Considered urban legend until roll hunters started pulling them in grocery store change. The 1969 Lincoln cent with doubled lettering? A man found one in loose change, thought it was worthless, and walked into a coin shop. They called the Secret Service because they didn't believe it was real. He walked out a millionaire. That's how these stories go. Doubt first, fortune second. And the 2013 D-dime? Oh, this one is special. Because in 2013, Denver was under pressure, minting billions of dimes for mass distribution while simultaneously coordinating commemorative coin production for other U.S. releases. High speed, high volume, high stress. And under those conditions, errors don't just slip through, they explode. Multiple independent collectors and even Mint employees have whispered about a rogue batch. A small number of 2013 D. Roosevelt dimes accidentally struck on experimental planchets, thicker, heavier blanks intended for commemorative gold or silver coins. That means there could be a 2013 D dime out there that weighs 2.5 grams instead of 2.268 grams, or worse, or better, one that weighs 3+ grams, meaning you're not holding copper nickel, you're holding solid gold. And if that sounds wild, wait, because that's just theory number one. Theory number two? Mule strike. That's right. A dime accidentally paired with the reverse die of another coin entirely. Imagine this. You flip your change onto the table and see Roosevelt's face like normal, but when you turn it over, instead of the torch, olive branch, and oak, you see the reverse of a Jefferson nickel or a Sacagawea dollar, or even, brace yourself, a foreign coin design. Some Denver facilities struck coins for other countries that year, meaning cross-contamination is not impossible. If even one authenticated mule dime exists from 2013 D, the price wouldn't just reach auction, it would bypass it entirely. Straight to private bidding war. Billionaires, museums, possibly even the U.S. Mint trying to buy back its own mistake. And then there's theory number three, the quadruple strike. Some claim to have seen ghost images. Roosevelt's face layered over itself like a glitch in reality, struck twice or thrice or four times, slightly rotated each time, creating a whirling blur of presidential features. Errors like that are not just desirable, they're mythical. But here's the part that really keeps collectors awake at night. Real people have allegedly found strange 2013 D dimes, but didn't keep them. One story floating around forums tells of a Michigan woman who got a strange-looking golden-toned dime in her change at a drive-thru. She thought it was foreign. She gave it to her nephew to use in a school coin toss game. Another story speaks of a trucker who noticed a 2013 D dime that rang too loud. When dropped on metal, he thought it was fake. He tossed it out the window. That sound you hear? That's destiny weeping. So, how do you avoid being the next person who throws away $233 million by mistake? Here's your checklist. Step 1. Find any 2013 Roosevelt dime with a D mint mark, located just to the right of Roosevelt's neck. Step 2. Check its color. Does it look slightly more golden or silvery blue than normal? That could be a wrong planchet or improper metal mix. Step 3. Weigh it. A normal dime is 2.268 grams. Anything even a fraction off, heavier or lighter, is a red flag. Step 4. Inspect Roosevelt's face. Look at the lips, the eye, the ear. Do they look doubled? Smeared? Melted? Step 5. Flip it. Examine the torch. Are the bands even? Is the flame distorted? Are the olive leaves misaligned? Step 6. The sound test. Drop it gently on a hard surface. If it gives a soft tick, it's normal. If it rings, like a glass chime, stop everything. That's precious metal. And listen, if this video ends and you don't immediately start checking your change, then you're not serious about your future. Because somewhere out there, maybe in your car, maybe in your kid's piggy bank, maybe in that old coffee can full of coins you've been meaning to cash in, could be the coin that ends every problem you've ever had. But brace yourself. Because if $233 million sounds like peak insanity, you're not ready for what comes next. I'm about to introduce a coin so legendary, so astronomically rare, that everything before this will feel like pocket change. If you dare to hear it, stay right where you are. The journey isn't over. It's only getting wilder.